Hello and welcome to Kelly Legends Media. Okay, so I just want to do a quick video, man. I really feel guilty whenever I don't leave a video for my viewers to watch, at least the ones that are interested in watching more regularly. So I did a video today on a gentleman called JD Delay. So this dude has his own channel, right? And he has over 1 million subscribers. Got like 1.5 million subscribers, And he talks about different things. And so he came on his platform, and he mentioned how he'd be going to jail. And this was for after being out for years, he became like a rehabilitation coach, a recovery coach. And his PO had told him not to turn himself in for this case, okay? And to go ahead and do whatever he was doing and to turn himself in at the right time. Well, what ends up happening is he gets a warrant for his arrest, and it's in Florida, okay? So he wants to take care of this, of course. The guy, like he says, you do the crime, you do the time. That's one of his sayings, okay? And this man has already transformed his life. He's living a different lifestyle. And like I said, he's a recovery coach. He's doing everything he can to help other people through his experience in life and through his recovery. So basically, this video is just to show, like, just how far into your success you can be in leaving that type of life behind and turning over a new leaf in everything you do, and still be asked to be accounted for something that happened way before all that. Anyways, dude ended up going. He did a video saying that he's going to jail, and he turned himself in, right? But when he turned himself in, he had a lot of letters. He had letters from Jolly Roll. For those of you that know who he is, Jolly Roll's a guy who entertains. He does venues, raps. He became very famous through his own actions and through who he ended up hooking up with. We're not going to get into Jolly Roll's story because I want to stick with JD Delay's story, okay? This man's story shows that no matter what you do to stay on the right path and stay successful, sometimes things get in your way. Stumbling blocks, they're called, okay? Nevertheless, this guy he managed to go to court, and he got himself a lawyer. And there's a few content creators that did content about him going to jail, and it was pretty much he was gone. And well, what ended up happening, the whole thing turned around to where the DA and the judge felt that it would be a waste of resources to put this man behind bars, behind the walls, because he was contributing to help other people. And the certificates that he earned, his whole recovery process, being that known to them, through letters, not only of other individuals, but he also wrote a letter to the court, and he ended up only getting 10 days community service, 80 hours, rather than being incarcerated, which the DA and the judge, like I said, both said it's just going to be a waste of time for this man. Some people might think, yeah, well, there might be more to his story. Like, how can you just? It was a DUI that he was facing, even though it was years ago. Well, I myself went through a similar situation where I got raided. They raided my house. They found a firearm, and it was during the time of COVID. I got letters from people who work with the gang violence reduction programs in the area. Um, and, they spoke well of me. I got letters from the pastors of the church. I had a bunch of very good letters, and I gave them my work record since I've been out of prison. I hadn't been arrested in 20 years. Well, all of that worked for me, for my benefit. That on top of the fact that I had a lot of medical issues. Well, due to that, I only got, rather than getting 3 years, I got 3 years joint suspended, which for those of you who don't know how that works, is that they sentence you to 3 years, and as long as you do the probation without catching another case or getting a violation, you're done after the 3 years. And if you screw up along the way, then you got to go in. It doesn't matter how long you've been on probation, you have to go in and do the 3 years behind the wall. J.D. DeLay got a similar, but not exactly the same, but a similar blessing through his actions and the good he was doing for the community. And like he said, after they gave him that community service, that 10-day community service and those 80 hours, he even said, that's what I do anyway. So it was like, I'm just going to go and do what I've been doing, and so he got blessed. He's not going to have to go to jail. He could continue down the path that he's been traveling, which is recovery. He works with recovery and helping people to do that. That's not a small thing. Recovery is not a small thing. It's very hard to turn away from habits that we pick up, no matter what they are. So I want to give J.D. DeLay, I want to give him credit for being granted that relief from the courts. It had to have been well deserved and earned, and I want to give him credit for that and give him a shout out. And for all of yous out there, man, that are maybe have similar situations, don't take nothing for granted, man, because you never know. You never know what could happen, and you could lose everything you got in a blink of an eye, and that's real. No matter what you might think, no matter what people might say, it's real, because I almost lost mine, my freedom. I still took losses. I had a beautiful horse, an Azteca. I had an Andalusian, and I sold them, and I could never own horses like that again. I got them at a time when I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing, but still, I had these beautiful horses that danced, that, it was, these horses were trained alta escuela, like a high level of training. And I sold them because I didn't know who would take care of them for me while I was in there for those 3 years, which would have entailed paying for their boarding and feeding them and cleaning their stall and all these things, and riding them. I just didn't have the resources, and I ended up selling them. And that was one of the things that I had wanted when I got out of prison, and I achieved that goal, and I lost it to making a mistake. I had a firearm in my house. I knew I wasn't supposed to be around firearms, but still, I went that route, and I ended up losing my horses, among other things. I could have lost my apartment. I could have lost my income. A load of things I could have lost if the judge would have pursued sending me to prison for those 3 years. But like JD, I got a break, and although I lost the horses, I didn't lose my freedom, and I ended up staying out here, and I'm doing what I'm doing now, and I'm happy. So people, be careful, man. Cherish your freedom. I'm sure that some of you are probably tired of me saying this, but it's precious. You know what I mean? and it's very easy to lose. That being said, man, God bless you. God bless your family. And thank you for watching. Hope to see you on the next video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you very much.